At a time when free speech is being challenged in the United States, your voice is important and powerful. That's why podcasts are important. Have you heard about Anchor? It's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. Yes, it's free. And there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your own podcast right from your own phone or computer. You can also make money on your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app and go to anchor.fm. That's anchor.fm to get started. Alrighty, welcome to the Chap Chat Podcast. That is Peter Mack pumping it out. That is Peter McDougall. You can find his music online. Peter McDougall with 2Ls.com. I'm on the other shore. I'm gonna walk right up out to see my Lord. I'm gonna walk and see my Savior. Lay my crown right at his feet. You'll find out right away with me that I am not normal. I normally don't fit into normal, and I love music, so I'll probably jam with you, with them, a lot more often than normal. I'm coming home when my life here is over. I'm on the other shore. I'm gonna walk right up and see my Lord. All right, I can listen to that for the rest of the show. Just put it on loop and let Peter Mack just roll on with Step Right Up. That is a phenomenal song. It's got some pumping bass in there, and man, I tell you, it's just a great song. He's a great artist, great guy, out of Canada. Check out his website. Yeah, he's got a great story. His music is free. That kind of caliber of music that was recorded in Nashville, and he just gives it away. My kind of guy. Anyway, that's Peter Mack. That's what those of us who know him, that's what we call him. The funny part is I've never even met him. I've talked to him on the phone, talked to him online. I know friends that are very good friends with him, and we've been on social media friends for a while. But man, I feel like he's family. So anyway, Peter Mack, folks, on Chap Chat Podcast. So what are you thinking? You ever have your mom ask you that right after you did something really stupid? What are you thinking, boy? Well, yes. So what are we thinking? What are we thinking? So Chap Chat Podcast, we're thinking about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that's what we're going to talk about. Anything that falls into those categories. And that's actually why Chap Chat Podcast was started, was to talk about those specific topics. Why those topics, though? Because pretty much our whole life falls in one of those topics: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what the American dream is all about. I think that if we slow down a little bit and think, then we may not do something stupid like what our mom told us not to do. Man, and you know what? The great part of that is COVID-19 gave us some time to think and not just piss and moan and sit around the house and whine and complain. Uh, Although everyone has done a little bit of that, I'm sure. Uh, but why are we doing what we're doing instead of just getting up and rushing off to work and, you know, being exhausted and falling into bed and, then on the weekends trying to do something exciting and fun and etc. Then what are we doing? Are we just repeat process every week? COVID-19 gave me the opportunity to slow down and think a little bit. And some of the things that's happened during COVID-19 has really, really set off some alarm bells for me, awoken some history that I've lived, and some wisdom that's been hidden down in there, I guess. Uh, that I've gotten from my grandparents and my parents, uh, and I'm just literally concerned, not only with some of the things that are happening around me, but what's going on between my ears. And from what I can see, what's going on or not going on between other people's ears. So, uh, literally, I am thinking, what are we thinking? Why are we doing what we do? I just started a Facebook post called Motion Church. No, it's not Motion Church. It's the church in motion, but it's called Mobile Church. And I did a blooper on that actually on on Facebook. I actually posted the blooper because we're all idiots, really. I mean, we're all just goofballs, and we try and edit the goof out of the mix. But I mean, that's reality. That's life. We're gonna make mistakes, and like I just did. But Mobile Church is about rethinking what church is about, rethinking why we have the um, mentality about church that we have. Uh, Basically, what woke me up was church got canceled, and most Christians in America were fine with that since we could, you know, go live stream, no problem. Go back 40 years though. And I can go back 40 years and still be alive and still remember what it was like 40 years ago. And if they had canceled church then, there's not another option. We couldn't go live. We couldn't go live stream or YouTube or check us out on our website. There was no, I mean, the World Wide Web was just growing little sea legs. I mean, it was in a rough spot. We were dealing with screen still back in the early '80s. Um, so, would we have the same response we had 40 years ago if uh, if the government had said church is not essential? That was an alarm bell thing for me. They didn't actually say church was non-essential. Some of them did actually, in the governors. But um, do do we think that the government can say that the church is non-essential? Because they didn't come out right out and say that the church is non-essential. They just said that only people that can have essential jobs can go out, and apparently church wasn't essential. Now, um, drive through at and takeout restaurants, that was essential. And apparently Home Depot and Lowe's, they were essential. I mean, you had to stand in line to get in, but yeah, you can still get in. Walmart and Sam's, You could literally go in there and get in a dog pile, trying to get toilet paper. And apparently that was essential. Uh, but church, what about church? Is that not essential? And can the government say that in America that it's not essential? Uh, the answer is very clear, I think, if you read the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, uh, that there can be no law made uh, governing the church or, religious assembly. So, why did we not think? What did we think? Why is Hebrews 10:25, forsake not the assembly of yourselves together as some do? And then when the law or ordinance or whatever was passed came out, do we obey God rather than man? Hebrews 10:25, I think, I don't have my Bible right with me, but I think it says, forsake not the assembling of yourselves together, except for a pandemic. Uh, Oh, wait a second. Let me think. I don't think the pandemic part was in there. Uh, no, it was not. So, um, so that's the challenge. That's the challenge. What are we thinking? Uh, could we have done something different? Could we have gone mobile? Could we have met in a different location other than inside the walls and in smaller groups and still met as the children of God and the church of God in local places? Absolutely, we could have. We sure could have, but we didn't. So the question is, what are we thinking? And that kind of uh, reminds me of a song from Peter Mack. It's called Broad Road. But before we go to that, I want you to understand that I am not finger pointing, not at all. I'm asking myself the same question. What are you thinking? What are you doing? Why did you do what you did? And that's what Chap Chat Podcast is all about. To steal a phrase from the Unshackled program that I used to listen to when I was a youngster, about 8, 9, 10 years old, on Sunday afternoon on the radio, it said that this is the program that makes you face yourself and think. So maybe this podcast this time will help us start to ask the question, what are we thinking? And here is the song to take us out of here for, I don't know when, until the next couple of days whenever I do another podcast. I don't know if I'm going to do one a week or two a week, but we will find out. And I am looking forward to hearing what you think. So shoot me an email. You can email me at Chaplain Brian Graves. That's Chaplain, normal spelling. Brian with an I, Brian, Graves, like you get buried in, because that's where we're all headed eventually. And then what happens after that? That's a good question, isn't it? Especially with COVID coming around and people dying and those kinds of things. It's kind of good to know what happens after that. So, to take us out of here, out of this podcast for this week, let's listen to a great song from Peter Mack called Broad Road.